My name is Alexandra Cristea. You might notice that the opposition has higher numbers, but fortunately I'm a terrible speaker. It's my very first debate, so I probably will drag them down anyway and even the field. I'm your typical computer science professor, means that we sort of look intelligent but we cannot express ourselves, right? You know, right, so I'm going to do my best here, and especially I'm much more digital, but I can make notes here and there. So I've been in AI for a very long time. That will tell you my age, but I've been in AI over 25 years, basically. Let's put it like that and stop there. And from a time when it wasn't very popular, and it had its ups and downs, and actually I'm extremely excited nowadays about all the opportunities in AI, and I'm doing lots of research in this area. I absolutely love it. But I just want to hear about you. So first of all, how many of you have phones? Can you put your hand up if you have a phone? Right, good. Can you put your phone up, please? Aha, right, I see a lot of smartphones around, so here you go using AI, just point it out. Continuing, how many of you use Facebook? Okay, a few less, right, how about shopping on Amazon? Okay. Right, let's do something simpler. How many of you have had an email? So let's see, how many of you would like the spam filter to not function because it's an AI function? Okay. Right, so how many of you use Google search? Aha, there's also an AI behind that. And I could continue like this, but let's just, I mean, how many of you have Alexa or Siri? Let's just put them in one, okay? Yeah, my son is very good at playing with that all the time. I'm not that good, I must admit. I just do the theory, not the practice. Right, so in my view, I mean, it's a wonderful time for AI to show what it can really do. And this is due to an old thing that started with Moore's law. Have you heard of Moore's law? So computers every year and a half basically becoming more powerful. And nowadays we moved on to GPUs, so big, massive, high-performance computing networks. We moved on to the cloud or to the fog. I've heard also this. So in any case, we moved on to many computers, and all of a sudden, all those small little ideas we had with AI, we can actually put them into practice. To me, not using that and stepping back and saying, no, we shouldn't, it sounds a bit like, okay, you know, if you put it nicely, maybe the people that said, no, we shouldn't have the Industrial Revolution, it's not a good idea. It might upset a few people. But even, I mean, going back, you know, paper. You shouldn't use paper. You could do lots of nasty things with paper. You could write inflammatory, nasty opinions on a piece of paper, right? We should never use paper, that's it. Right? Please don't use paper. What about fire? Oh my God, fire is really dangerous. Oh, everything can burn in a fire. No, we shouldn't use fire, right? Please don't. So if you ever heat up your house with any kind of fire, or no. So I don't think that's really the issue. I have a cup that sits on my office desk, and it says AI is no match for natural stupidity. Okay, and this is basically what I believe. So as long as you implement it in a correct way, it's going to do wonders for you. But of course, there's lots of really horrible ways of dealing with things. But okay, joke aside, I can see here opportunities in terms of, so we heard about all the bias that is happening and all the issues. And there are real issues and they need solved, absolutely. But basically, it's AI that's making these issues visible to us nowadays. If we wouldn't have had AI, we wouldn't have known that people, when they're in their hiring practice, or we would know they have implicit bias, but we wouldn't see it out there and be blatantly obvious and can point it out to them and say, no, you know, you're not hiring this person because of their gender or because of their social background or because of the wrong reasons, basically, and so on and so forth. So what it helps us do now is take all these things which we're doing implicit, unfortunately, and move them out there for everybody to see. And they have to deal with it. So all these companies you've heard of, yes, they have done those things, and now they have to fix their AI. They have started fixing them already, because they realize that that's not okay, that's not acceptable, and we're living in a world where such a thing is totally not acceptable. So it's basically giving us the chance to address all these issues. I mean, AI is taking over the world. My ex-husband, he's an ex-husband now, he used to tell me I should lobotomize a bit of your brain because you're just making these AI systems and they're going to take over the world, and it's just a horrible thing, and he's just stopped doing that, basically. He's my ex-husband now. Anyway. But basically, it's not like that. It's always to support human decision making. It's to help human decision making. AI is going to inform you, but if you're going to use that information wrongly, then yes, you're not going to be able to use it appropriately, or you're not going to be able to do anything useful with it. But the reality is as follows: we live in a massive data-rich society. Data is everywhere. If you were told, you know what, it's not going to be an AI system that decides, you know, how to regulate your internal car systems. I'll tell you all the parameters, and you deal with them. And you know, I'll give you all these knobs, and you can work with them one by one and put exactly what you want. Would you want to do that? I don't think so. And this is just for simple systems like that. If we look at the data on the web, it's a massive amount of data out there. We, as humans, just are not able to process. We need some kind of filtering. I mentioned the spam filter. It doesn't work all the time well, but it does serve you well, and you wouldn't want to switch it off. And we get more and more of systems like that, which we wouldn't want to go anywhere without. So I think there's a lot of opportunities out here, and it's a wonderful world to live in. And I have also two beautiful children who are absolutely much better at using these things than I am, and are living in this world and start considering a normal place to be, and will be probably the ones that, you know, in the future will be able to use them much, much better than we ever do. Absolutely. And that brings me to another thing, which is, you know, we were told about jobs and insecurity of jobs, also in terms of they may take our jobs, AI and so forth. Steve Shirley, who's a wonderful computer scientist and engineer, said at some point, it was a she, but she took a male name just to hide the fact that she was a woman in a male-dominated environment. But she said basically the jobs that will be related to AI tomorrow haven't yet been invented, right? So don't worry about it. These jobs will come. They will just look different, and will be different things. We don't do what our forefathers have done, and frankly, I'm not sure that I'm going to be very good with a plow on the field. I'm quite happy sitting at my desk and working with a little computer, and that's perfectly all right. And I don't think they would have imagined then that this was something that was possible today. But this is what we're doing, and this is how we're living, and I think our life has continued to improve that way. So this is part of this process of improving. Recently, we've just had a project, Tech Up Women, that brought 100 women from different backgrounds who are interested in tech. And frankly, lots of them wanted to do AI, but we had, there were more than 50% of them were from, had dependents, more than 48, I believe, were BAME background, from under-supported, I don't want to say underrepresented, but under-supported communities where support is necessary. And we train them, and we train them in data science, amongst other things, but we basically reverse engineer jobs from our 15 industrial partners in the North and Midlands, and then we decided what kind of subjects they needed to do based on those outcomes. And we looked also at their needs, things like when they want to learn, they liked online, but we also had residential, so that we have these motivational speeches, and we talk with them and communicate and help them network. They had a lot of nice mentoring and so forth. Basically what I'm trying to say here is that this is a massive area of growth, a growth for industry, a growth for jobs. There's more jobs out there than can be filled at the moment. People are hungry for diversity, so that's another thing. So that includes also not only in people that use AI, but also people that work on AI, because there is a clear understanding that diversity will make the AI solutions richer. Is this my first one or my second one?
Second, you've got 1 more minute.
Okay, thank you very much. So basically, I think that it's a great time to be, and I'm quite happy to work in this area, and I really believe AI is our future, and we definitely shouldn't step back from it. Thank you very much.